And let's see. So then after the show, there was a fan filmed segment where basically KO, we don't know why, just got completely pissed off at Cody Rhodes and decided
In the
to,
parking lot.
yeah, beat the shit out of him in the parking lot by the Wheatley tour bus. And yeah, so apparently how they did it in real time was it was going on during like the post uh, show scrum thing that they do, and like Cody was supposed to go up on for the scrum or whatever, and they're like, apparently he can't make it, or just like
Oh,
trying to play it off. Meanwhile, they have random people filming him getting his ass kicked by Kevin Owens, and then
I saw
speeding
that
off,
clip. Yeah.
speeding off in a McLaren like immediately after. It's just like
It's so
this.
unlike KO.
Yeah, it was just weird. Like, why does he have this Lambo, McLaren, whatever this is? Um, but yeah, so I thought it was interesting that they chose to do that not on a show, right? Like, it wasn't part of Bad Blood. It wasn't on SmackDown in a couple days or tomorrow now. They did it outside of the scope of their television, and I think that that's going to be more of a normal thing now. Like, we're going to probably
Absolutely.
see more segments like that where they're just going to leave it off of TV, and then either you hear about it through the grapevine or you seek it out or whatever. They're going to start doing that, and I think they're going to like be they're going to imply, or they're going to think it's implied that everyone takes the time to do that. And I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing. But regardless, I think the reason
Mm.
why they did it for this is now it's building a week's long anticipation to SmackDown. You're like, why did he do it? What's Randy gonna say?
Yeah.
This, that, the other. Got basically a whole week to think about it now. So that's a good build in itself, I think. Did you have any other thoughts on that?
Yeah, I've been sitting on it too, and I think you're right. So having multiple avenues and channels for content is something new. And I think in the first episode, I mentioned, wow, what a time to watch wrestling. There's so much chatter online, and there's bleed through with the wrestlers' social media and what they're doing in the ring and what they're doing in the promo world. And having this be another avenue adds depth, also adds engagement, and it's also like a new form of fishing for viewers. Because I think you and I were talking about YouTube and having shorts on your channel and having a podcast.
Yeah.
You know, doing shorts, what does that do for your podcast? Well, this is kind of like WWE doing a short, but they can upload it to so many different avenues, and you can kind of fish and retain viewers who are then interested in, like you just said, oh, okay, I have to tune in Friday to see what that was about. Well, now you may have gained another viewer. Maybe it's an AEW fan who has shunned WWE because he's a diehard AEW fan. But then he sees that sent to him by a buddy who's been watching WWE. And he goes, that's interesting. I remember watching Kevin Owens. Maybe I'll tune in Friday to see what that was about. At least that's what I would think if I was their marketing manager. How many avenues can we go down and get content in people's faces? So it's like, how can we get butts and seats? How can we get content in people's faces? So I agree with you. You're going to see a lot more of that. And I haven't seen rumors about where Netflix is going. Will it have commercials? Will there be a commercial break? That is so interesting because it got my gears going. Oh, maybe 2 hours is just right if you don't have any commercials.
Yeah.
Um, Maybe 3 hours would be exhausting on Netflix with no commercials. There's all these different concepts and strategies and ways to get wrestling in front of people's faces. And I'm not opposed, even though I don't use social media, I'm not opposed to having shorts or snippets or whatever they want to call it, as little pieces of content that bridge narrative between a promo, an in-ring match, and an attack outside in the parking lot. It can all web together. So yeah, that kind of is my summary of why it's good and why I'm not against it.
Yeah, and I'm not against it either. I'm just worried they'll like think that people saw something they didn't, you know.
Ah, yeah, misconstrue. But they love that, don't they? I personally think WWE Creative loves the rumor mill.
Oh, they might,
What are
yeah.
the journalists? What are the journalists called? There's like a name.
Like the
And
dirt
this,
sheets, dirt sheets.
yes, yes, there you go. Um, I think the creative side and the story writers, the content creators at WWE, the creative department, they love that. I think they love misdirection, you know, because you can build more ploy and anticipation by having some other foreign element distract your audience and make them think, oh, on Friday, this person's coming back, and WWE is going to lean into that misdirection and make the pop even bigger for the surprise that they actually wrote.
True.
So that's
Yeah.
really cool. So yeah, maybe having things misconstrued is
Yeah.
another layer of for them to kind of build off of and reward the audience.
Oh, I agree. I didn't even consider that aspect. So yeah, that's a good point.
That's so
Um,
cool. Yeah.